Welcome to the deep dive. We get right into your sources to give you the most impactful knowledge and basically the shortcut to being really well informed. Today, we're doing a deep dive into, well, what might just be one of the most interesting and maybe financially surprising career blueprints we've seen in a while. We're talking about the evolution of Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
Yeah, and our focus today, it's really about digging into the strategy he lays out in his book, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. It's a New York Times bestseller. But this isn't just like celebrity worship. Our goal is to really break down this book. Think of it as a high-stakes self-help guide. We want to understand the mechanics, how he managed that switch from being this multi-platinum music star to a powerhouse TV exec and businessman.
Right, the mechanics are key. How did he do it? Our mission here is to pull out the formula, what you can actually learn from this kind of massive comeback.
Right.
What does it really mean to embrace change when, disruption just slams into your career? And how did Jackson manage to blend these two things that seem totally opposite, street smarts and serious corporate know-how, to get where he is? I mean, we're talking about someone who totally dominated the music world.
Which was incredibly cutthroat.
Exactly. And then turned around and negotiated what was, I think at the time, the single biggest deal in premium cable history. Just wow.
It really is the ultimate lesson in leveraging cultural capital, turning fame into financial power.
Totally. Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's start at the beginning, the foundation. We all know the artist, right? Curtis James Jackson III, Grammy winner, exploded onto the scene, in his early 20s, with that massive album, Get Rich or Die Tryin', sold over 30 million albums globally. I mean, that's the cultural base right there. But the business side, that started almost right away, too.
That's such a critical point.
Yeah.
His drive to build businesses wasn't something he found later when music maybe slowed down. No, it was baked into his plan from the get-go.
Yeah.
Even when he was topping the charts, he was already building the back end. He founded G-Unit Records way back in 2003, signed other big artists. And then by 2005, G-Unit Film and Television, Inc. That tells you he got it early on. Content creation music, film, TV, it's about owning the means of production, owning the masters, the platforms.
Okay, but hold on. If he already had G-Unit Film and TV back in '05, then this decision maybe a decade ago to go hard into television, was that really a radical pivot, or was it just, finally executing that plan he'd had simmering for years?
That's a really good question. Some sources frame it as this amazing comeback, right?
Yeah.
Especially after some personal stuff he went through. They stress his ability to adapt. And while, the company structure was there, I think the radical part was the intense focus and the sheer scale of it. He wasn't just dabbling in production. He basically bet his entire brand on one huge project, Power.
And man, did that bet pay off. Big time. He wasn't just the face. He was the executive producer, co-star. Power, that crime drama, it wasn't some vanity thing. It felt like a really strategic move, hit a cultural nerve.
That's where you see the corporate savvy shining through. He spotted a gap, a big one. Premium cable was doing well, sure, but it was kind of ignoring this huge appetite for really well-made, sophisticated urban crime stories.
Yeah.
And by doing it all, starring, producing, even directing he achieved what you might call vertical integration. He wasn't just an actor they hired. He was the engine.
Right. And this is where that specific knowledge comes in, linking the street smarts, seeing the underserved market, the valuable territory with the corporate execution. That show wasn't just popular. It became, what do they call it, appointment television. People subscribed to Stars for Power.
And that market leverage, that directly led to the $150 million Stars deal. People throw that number around, but the analysis is what's fascinating. He didn't just sign a fat paycheck as an actor. He negotiated a deal based on ownership, development, multiple series, spin-offs, creating a whole Power universe. It was pure risk calculation, really. He used the proven loyalty of his fans to lock in guaranteed budgets and, crucially, maximum creative control. That combination. That's why it was the biggest deal of its kind back then.
It's just a complete win, isn't it? Secured the money, got the control, and he's still running the #1 show on Stars, critically acclaimed too, which actually sets up perfectly the philosophy he talks about in Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter.
Exactly. If you look at the bigger picture, the book is basically the manual for how he pulled off that corporate play. And it connects directly back to his earlier book, The 50th Law, which was all about, fear nothing and you'll succeed.
Right. And this newer book, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, it takes that fearlessness and gives it tactical boots on the ground. It blends his deep understanding of street dynamics, which is really about high-level risk assessment, reading situations, reading people with the corporate stuff he learned the hard way, structure, legal savvy. The book explicitly says it's to help readers stage their own comeback, and this is key, learn to flow with the changes that disrupt their own lives.
Yeah, and I think the real value there, for you listening, is how Jackson defines hustle smarter.
Hmm.
It's about knowing when to adapt and when to be totally inflexible. So dealing with big companies, adapting means seeing trends, like the shift to streaming. But being inflexible means demanding full ownership of your creations. He basically teaches you to see your talent not just as art, but as a legal asset you need to protect and maximize.
That idea, talent as an asset needing maximum market saturation, that leads perfectly into just how broad his brand became. It's not just music and TV anymore, is it? It's this huge, almost dizzying range of businesses. And it's not random. It shows that diversification strategy from the book in action.
Precisely. If you actually categorize his portfolio, you see the strategic thinking. He's not just collecting logos. He's building market insulation, attacking different price points, different demographics all at once.
Okay, let's break that down a bit. So you've got the high-end stuff, right? The luxury lifestyle market. That's like Le Fin d'Or champagne, Effen vodka,
Right.
aimed at prestige, exclusivity.
Exactly. Then there's the everyday consumer stuff. Mass market appeal, steady income. Think health drinks, supplements, even Casper mattresses. These leverage his fame but aren't tied to the ups and downs of entertainment biz revenue.
And the third category, the digital footprint and IP stuff, like video games, his books, headphones, those genies avatars.
Yeah, that secures his brand in future tech, future media, monetizes his name in totally different ways. And the real genius, the synergy, is that every product, whether it's a fancy champagne bottle or a mattress, circles back. It all boosts the power universe, boosts his music career. It's all connected.
It really is the definition of hustling smarter, isn't it? Using the heat from one big success, music and TV, to light fires under a dozen other projects, spreading the risk, covering the market.
Absolutely. And the proof that it's a system, not just luck, is that he's managing all this.
Yeah.
The production company, that massive stars deal, this whole global product empire.
Yeah.
And he's still dropping new music, like that recent track, Still Think I'm Nothing. It shows you can pursue wildly different things at the highest level simultaneously if you have the right strategy.
So let's synthesize this deep dive then. Jackson's incredible success seems to stem from taking lessons from the music world, speed, assessing risk quickly, really knowing your audience and applying them inside the often slower, more corporate environments. He used his fame not just to be famous, but as real leverage in negotiations.
That's it in a nutshell. He turned celebrity into a potent business tool, not just a lifestyle.
Which brings us towards the end of our deep dive into Curtis 50 Cent Jackson's journey. From rap superstar to, frankly, a record-breaking media mogul. All seemingly powered by this knack for pivoting, for rolling with disruption, and blending that street-level tactical mind with serious business discipline.
Right. So drawing straight from that core message in Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, here's maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. If his key was fusing street smarts and corporate savvy, think about your own field. Where are you maybe relying too much on just one of those? How could adopting a mindset that blends that relentless tactical risk-taking with really solid legal and financial planning, how could that change how you face the next big shakeup in your career or your industry? Where do you need to be both adaptive and totally uncompromising in the next year or so?
Definitely some food for thought there. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.